Hey everyone, Chris Mack coming at you today with one of the most creepy and tragic characters from the X-Men lore. This is the Marvel Legends X-Men 97 wave, Goblin Queen Madelyne Pryor. Now if you guys want to get this character, which I highly recommend, both Entertainment Earth and Big Bad Toy Store are sold out. It's on Amazon, but the price is starting to pick up, so make sure to grab it. If not, as I always say, please first and foremost support your local comic shop or wherever it is like to get your action figures and comics and see if they have it in stock. I'm excited to look at the accessories, especially coming with baby Nathan there. Very awesome. I love the carded look here, very retro. Love it all the same. Come around to the back and we can see a cool product shot, plus the figures from the wave right there. Come around, because it's carded, nothing on the sides or anything like that, sadly. But is this figure awesome or not? Let's get the Goblin Queen out and get a closer look at her. The tale of Madelyne Pryor is really heartbreaking. Madelyne Jennifer Pryor was created by Chris Claremont and Paul Smith, first appeared in Uncanny X-Men 168 from April of 1983. She is the ex-wife of Cyclops, mother of Nathan Christopher Charles Summers, Cable, and the clone of Jean Grey. I was thrown when I first read this, but this is not the same little girl named Maddie Pryor from Avengers Annual number 10. I dug through that, and that was just something that Claremont uses a throwaway in that issue. He stated that Madelyne's original storyline was that she coincidentally looked like Jean Grey, and it was pointed out when Scott asked Maddie, "Are you Jean?" And she just straight up slugs him. So what he was wanting to do is essentially, Jean died, Scott is grown up, moved on, and it was probably the closest to a happy ending he could get. However, that all went down the drain with the resurrection of Jean Grey. And if I remember correctly from Chris Claremont's X-Men documentary, that was sort of orchestrated by John Byrne and Jim Shooter. And I just, weird. So, with Jean coming back, Scott leaves her, his child, and goes back to Jean, not telling her about Madelyne. And for a long time, this really did destroy Scott's character for me. Claremont stated that it left him having to figure out what to do with both Maddie and Nathan, so he decided to turn her into the Goblin Queen and kill her off. After the Fall of Mutants arc, while the X-Men are in Australia, Maddie learns that Jean is alive, and she sees Scott with him, where she finally realizes why he left her. It enrages her. She punches a computer monitor, causing an electrical shock, and it knocks her unconscious. And while in that state, the Limbo demon Sim invades Madelyne's mind and puts her through a sequence of traumatic nightmares. Sim offers Maddie a deal, with her accepting bargaining. And this is the beginning of her transforming into the Goblin Queen. She's eventually taken to the orphanage in Nebraska where Scott had grown up, which was really a front for Mr. Sinister's genetic laboratory. Mr. Sinister reveals to Madelyne there that she is Jean's. So broken in spirit and reduced to insanity due to these revelations, Madelyne willing decides to aid the demons in the infernal invasion of Earth. Now, tragically, Madelyne commits suicide in an attempt to telepathically kill Jean with her, though it doesn't work. But I guess silver lining is Gina absorbs Maddie's memories, inheriting maternal feelings for Nathan, and becomes his surrogate mother, until, again, tragically, Apocalypse infected Nathan with the techno-organic virus, resulted in the child being taken 2,000 years into the future by Ascani to be saved. Now, for the X-Men 97 series, where this is based off of, she was voiced by Jennifer Hell. So, kind of a long story short, I know, too late, but that's Madelyne Pryor in a nutshell. Now, for accessories, she does come with your regular, kind of more casting hands, which I'm glad that they gave us 2 of these effects. I know that they've been used over and over, but I like them nonetheless. You can wrap them around their hands, and I usually like to try to light them as best as I can when I'm doing photography, or I'll try to enhance them in Photoshop, but they look relatively well. In the hand, she does come with 2 gripping hands, thankfully, and then the one addition that I'm very thankful for is we get baby Cable, and that is very much close to comic accurate. I haven't seen X-Men 97 yet, but I'm assuming this is what he looks like. But cute little addition. And I've only seen one clip where Madelyne is starting to turn into the Goblin Queen, and Nathan's crying, and she goes, "Shh, mommy's busy," or something to that degree, and it was just absolutely terrifying. So for her debut as an action figure, because I've not seen another version of Madelyne anywhere, I like the accessories that she comes with. It's a nice little touch to this character, and she deserves the time that she gets. Now, as for the paint apps and just the look and sculpt of the figure, I understand why they had to kind of tone down the Goblin Queen's uniform, as you can see in the comics. Probably not exactly the best thing you want to put on a toy shelf, but I kind of wish that they would have, I don't know, maybe give her more like the Hellfire look that Jean had in the Hellfire pack that we went over a while back. Because just the entire black here is sort of like, I don't know, just kind of kills it for me. And again, I wish Hasbro would start following McFarlane's lead with the cloth capes, because this thing, big, fat, and again, what kills me is rather than give her the flat-footed, like the more, where it's just flat and filled in, we're stuck with these again, and with this heavy-ass cape, she is a pain in the ass to stand up. So beware of that. But I'll give it a pass just because we finally got Madelyne Pryor. I love that her hair very much akin to Jean's. And I like, since they're kind of wanting to go more towards the Inferno look, that her face looks more wicked, kind of has that palish L look to it. I wish that we kind of would have gotten a head swap with like a crazy looking casting face, like, Scott, come here, type situation. But nonetheless, beautifully well done. Lipstick looks good. I love the pendant on the cape. The red on the inside, black on the outside. If this was cloth, that would be beautiful. The way it flows looks neat, but... And I'm glad that there's no pins relatively in the leg anywhere to be seen. I'm thankful for that. So the pinless technology, hell yeah, finally kind of got their heads out of their butt on that one. Articulation-wise, I hate these feet. Anyway, sorry, that's just a thing. Again, and this is kind of a tragic of all female figures, is you can tilt their head relatively all the way down, but because they don't make the hair soft enough, I don't know, I wish they would use like a softer or something, like thin like this maybe. See how that's more pliable? But because this is so tough, can't get the head to go back, and that's just an age-old thing with these Hasbro figures. So I wish that she would have got 2 points of articulation here at the waist, but just like with every other female character, it's at the solar plex. So you get a nice range of motion there. Thankfully, cape doesn't really hinder, but of course that big-ass hair does, but you can do 360. Arm goes out, bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, whoop, whoop. And of course, hands can go down, hands can go up, hands can go 360, twist, twist. And then again with the hair, it's hard to get the head to twist correctly. See how it pushes it down at a 45-degree angle? That's a little agitating. Foot goes out that much. Double jointed knee. Pivot there. Foot kind of pivots side to side. And because of that ugly ass butt flap, can't go back at all. But you can at least go sideways. Foot go up. Foot go down. Foot kind of go side to side. And I hate these because they're so hard to stand the character. I know there's a lot of gripes that it seems that I have with this character, because Hasbro's like, let's just use all these old parts that aggravate people to death just so that they can get a character they like, but it's going to be a hell of a time to pose her correctly. But all that aside, I'll let it all go because I'm finally glad that we have Madelyne Pryor, the Goblin Queen, in our collection. So I'll give all of that a pass on this figure. Here is the Goblin Queen next to the complicated history that she has with Scott and, of course, Wolverine with Jean. This was the original Juggernaut Build-A-Figure Wave Phoenix. This was the Warlock Build-A-Figure Wave Cyclops. And then these three actually are from the X-Men 97 wave. We have gone over Cyclops, but I did it as a TikTok exclusive. So if you guys want to see the review on Cyclops, head over to our TikTok channel, and that's where that review is. I'm waiting to go over this Wolverine. But I'm glad that with this 97 wave that just came out, other than the colors being a little bit brighter, I'm guessing to insinuate that it is from the animated series, they blend in just fine. I mean, I'm glad that the ones that came before have that more dark, serious look about them. But still, this Madelyne and this Cyclops, or that Cyclops, and then Wolverine just kind of thrown in, you can see that all of your Marvel Legends are going to blend in seamlessly and thoroughly. Enjoy what you can do with them. I'm excited to get her in front of the camera. I already have with Scott, and they came out, in my opinion, What do you guys plan to do with your Marvel Legend figures? Are you enjoying this version of Madelyne Pryor, or do you wish that they would have gone the more traditional Goblin Queen look? I know they had to kind of clean it up for the 97 show, but me personally, I wish that this would have been a cloth cape, as we talked about, and more of her OG look, but I get it. I get it. But in terms of reading comics for so many years, there's certain things that you wish that you could get a hold of in your collection. So again, what do y'all plan to do? Are you going to photograph these? Are you going to put them on a shelf? Are you going to put them all together? Or are you going to separate them by comic accurate and animated series accurate? Let us know. We'd love to see pictures of them over on our social media pages. I really am happy to have a Goblin Queen in my collection. Still kills me what they ended up having to do to her because they decided to resurrect Jean Grey. But nonetheless, I enjoyed Madelyne Pryor while she was part of the X-Men, and even when she broke down with everything that had happened to her and finally decided to take matters into her own hands. She's still one of those characters that is talked about to this day, and to finally have a tangible figure in my collection, I'm happy. The accessories she comes with, especially a baby Cable, that is the cherry on top. So if you guys have enjoyed what you've seen, please first and foremost support your local comic shop or wherever it is like to get your action figures and comics and grab this character. It is shooting up in price, and I can see why, as it's one of those long time wanted pieces for comic collectors. If you've enjoyed this review, really would appreciate if you take a moment to hit like, share, and subscribe. Helps the channel more than you could possibly know. And if you won't mind hitting that fancy little goblin bell next, subscribe. That way, as I continue to upload content, you guys get notified. Come to the channel, and I love talking with y'all and hearing your thoughts and feedback down in the comments below or the socials, which I'll make sure to leave the links down in the description. So with all that said, I hope y'all continue to have an absolutely amazing spooky day reading, photo slideshow coming up next, and happy hunting, everyone.